So I'm delighted to be talking to Ed Kowalczyk today from the band Live. Ed, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Really good. Now, I guess the great news is you're doing your first UK show in 13 years at Shepherd's Bush, and I think it's sold out already.
I know. It's so exciting. It's been a long time, and the band is just sounding better than ever. We just finished a run of big shows at the beginning of this month, and we're home packing up for our trip to Europe. But I'm really excited for the UK fans to experience the band right now because it's just at such a top level with everything. So the timing couldn't be better.
And I guess the impetus for this is that you've got a big anniversary, 25th anniversary of probably your seminal album, which is Throwing Copper.
Yes.
Does that help you reassess the importance of your music to fans, particularly the fans in the UK, and then said, okay, now's the time to come back to London?
Yeah, it seemed to make sense, with the timing of the reunion, the 25th anniversary celebration of Throwing Copper. All of this came together in a way that was pretty magical. And, of course, right away, over the last year or so, we said, we have to get back to Europe and play more shows and reconnect with everybody. And, it seems to be lining up just perfectly.
So as far as I know, the re-release or the special release of the album, it's not just the album. There are some outtakes, some tracks which weren't on the original release, as well as there's a live from Woodstock, I think 8 tracks that recorded there.
Yeah, there's so it's a double disc, double vinyl. It comes of course the main one is the remastered Throwing Copper album with 3 songs that have not been released officially before, except one was on our greatest hits. It was Are We Dealing Dreams on the greatest hits, but Hold Me Up and Susquehanna have never been on been available on a release, and they were all recorded right in the same session as Throwing Copper, which is were left off for whatever reason, space limitations, that kind of thing. And then, like you mentioned, the other disc or vinyl will be a remastered mixed version by our guitar player, actually Chad Taylor, the producer on it, of our 1994 Woodstock performance. So that was really exciting to go back and actually just excited to know that we had the tapes. They were sitting in our vault over in our hometown, and Chad, we just couldn't believe we had them, and so he got it right into it and mixed that, so it's really cool. I think the whole release is a really great thing for fans. There's a lot of cool stuff in there.
I imagine you got pretty good memories of recording the album, because wasn't it mixed in the old Playboy Hotel?
Yes, it was. It was mixed. It was recorded at Pachyderm in Cannon Falls, Minnesota, and then we went over to Wisconsin and mixed it at the old Playboy Resort. So it was actually, the resort itself had closed, and they were running everything sort of as the only thing running was the little studio that they had, I guess, a Playboy Records label for a while. So they put this really nice studio in there. And we got a really good deal on it because it was in this sort of abandoned hotel. It was very odd kind of setup, but it worked great. It worked really, really well. It sounded great.
Well, thanks for setting the record straight. I had kind of this weird mental image of all of you in silk dressing gowns, though, channeling your best Hugh Hefners,
No, it's far less glamorous than that. Far less glamorous.
If you look over the years and the way that Live has progressed their sound, there was a period of time when you left the band and you went to do some solo material. Tell me about that, and then what was the impetus for you returning to the band?
Well, we took this long break, which started around 2009. I went and did 2 solo albums and an EP and toured all over, mostly acoustic or semi-acoustic tours. There were smaller venues, listening rooms, theaters, that kind of thing, and I had a wonderful time. It was challenging, but it was, I learned a lot. I had to come up with a whole different show, and approach with just playing, the entirety of the show with just an acoustic guitar, or maybe one other guy with me. And so that was, as challenging as it was, I feel like I built up my chops, as they say, in a way that I couldn't have without that. And the guys were, they were off doing their thing. And I think it was just as, the break went on, we just really started to miss each other, started to miss our friendship and our chemistry on stage. And we knew how important the original band was to the fans. And so all of that combined to about 3 or 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago now, I met up with our guitar player, Chad Taylor, and in our hometown in Pennsylvania, and we had a beer, and within about 24 hours we were in a room together playing again. So it was a break, but I think we're all grateful that we had the experiences that we had, because I really feel like we're better than ever.
And more recently, in 2018, there was an EP. It was a 5-track EP called Local 717.
Yeah.
Is that an area code? What's the significance of that?
It's the area code of York, Pennsylvania, where we grew up.
When you come over and play the show shortly, can we expect really just a revisiting of the Copper album? Is it going to be greatest hits? You're going to have some of the new songs, or from the EP, or anything unexpected?
Of course, because of the celebration of the 25th anniversary of Throwing Copper, the center of gravity of the show will be that album. But we're not going to play it from top to bottom. We're going to we have a few surprises in there that we've developed over the last month, and some of the deeper cuts from Throwing Copper, some of the other hits from other albums. But I'm pretty sure we get to just about every album, and again, with a couple of surprises in there that I don't think anyone's expecting, unless they've been on the internet following our last 7 shows. They won't know what it is until we get there.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the elements of surprise. So that show coming up to remind people on the 30th of June, and I think after that you've got a pretty big tour with Bush happening in the US coming up in the fall.
That's right. Yeah, we actually started that tour. We've done about 7 of those shows with Bush so far, and they were incredible. Just really, really exciting for the fans. The packages are really nice. Bill of the 2 bands work really well together. And so, the bulk of that tour starts towards the end of July and goes all the way through October. But first things first, we get to Europe next week, and we'll be in Europe almost 3 weeks. And, of course, in the UK. So
it's been great talking to you, and to remind everyone that, again, the show is on the 30th of June at Shepherd's Bush Empire. The re-release, expanded, and 25th anniversary version of the album Throwing Copper is out on 19th of July.
That's right. Absolutely.
So, get people to check that out, and we look forward to seeing the show.
All right. Thank you so much for the interview.
Nice talking to you, Ed. Cheers.
Take care, man. See ya.